tribute to my mother. This speech does contain trigger warnings that mention suicide. We don't do it for the money. We don't do it to get paid. We don't do it for the glory, but for the life that might be saved. By an unknown writer. This is a perfect example of my mother. She has always taught me to be caring, kind, and has worked her best to teach me life lessons that would be imperative for later on in life. For example, my mother bought us a bouquet of stargazer lilies. That day she was teaching me how to make bouquets. We trimmed and primed them, put them in a blank vase, and we looked at their beauty. And she taught me to be kind. She told me that people might be suffering in ways that we don't see, that we might not understand. And through all that, even if they might be mean towards you, we should be kind to them regardless. Little did I know that day that my mother worked for hours in the back of an ambulance trying to save a man who had committed suicide. She couldn't save him. I got a tattoo dedicated to my mother for this exact reason. My mother has always struggled with being an individual that tries to be kind because good things don't often show up right away. She always tells me that good things will eventually find their way back to you. Later on in life, she was helping a man that got into a car accident. He was 60 years old, and he went into cardiac arrest. My mother worked for hours performing CPR while the man was being transported to the nearest hospital. When he finally came to and he saw my mother, he called her an angel. And later on, within the next week, a golden necklace showed up with an angel on it, and it was titled "To My Angel." She wore that necklace for 10 years. I never saw it removed from her neck for the next 10 years. It's an example of how kindness may show its face right away as soon as you give it to somebody, or it might show up later in life. But that necklace renewed her faith in the people around her. It made her realize that kindness will always be returned. My mother has had a significant impact on many people's lives. I have always seen her as a very kind individual, and she's always taught me these life lessons of kindness. I've always seen her as a person that brings light to everybody's lives. And I wish that she could see it in herself sometimes. But even throughout her dark times, she's always brought light to mine. And that's why I've chosen her to do a speech about.